All right, so let's kick this off. So everybody, welcome to the MHCP World Tour. Um, Joining us, the mentors, we have Mike the Guru, we have Tellous, we have Seeing Blue, and we have Pigeon number 12. We are going to be presenting to you um, a tour of inspiring worlds. So we're going to explore cutting edge mechanics, captivating art styles, and addictive gameplay loops, ready to transform your next creation. So feel free to be inspired by all of this amazing work that people put out there. All right, so in the agenda, worlds we will be highlighting is Puzzle Rush by Atlantica Ryan, Duck Duck Doom by Shirkadies, Happy Veggie by VR Ebony Epiphany, Homebuilder Rush by Neck Irv 2021, and Cratastic Colorrunner by Cray 2.0.
All right, Puzzle Rush. So Puzzle Rush, I chose this world because the moment I saw it in the forums, it was created by Atlantica Ryan. He's a new creator, and something that caught my attention is that he displayed or he's using a novel mechanic that I haven't seen before. As a scripting myself, that's what I do most of the time in Horizon Worlds. I'm always like a geek for every time that I see something that I haven't done myself, or I have never seen any other creator made in the past. So what does he have here? So the concept is a puzzle world, a very simple puzzle world, where you can just use your eye pointer to move pieces around a board and then assemble a puzzle. So I think that we have seen something similar in the past, but the part that caught my attention is the way how the pieces move in the space. For example, when you grab the piece, as you can see, for example, in the snapshot that we have here, the second one, the piece moved to the left side of the screen in a way that you can actually see the piece closer, so you know exactly where to place it in the board. And why do I like this mechanic? The first thing that I noticed is that the social engagement prevails in this world. The avatar is always visible. So for example, even when you are in the world with other players, you will never lose visuals of where your avatar is. And remember that that's kind of like the what meta always like to promote, right? For example, how the avatar looks and how you can personalize them. So by keeping the avatar in focus all the time, I think that enhances that aspect of being social in a world. Because you, again, even normally when you create like a world for mobile, what is common to see is basically like the zoom in on the mechanic that you're interacting with. But in this world, you always have sight of the player. As I mentioned, the other part that I like is that it has a novel interaction. I have never seen this mechanic before. And shortly, very soon, I'm going to show you a video how that looks like. I also like that the world has a minimal design. It's very minimalistic, right? So even though that's kind of like a taste kind of thing, right? Because most might argue, some people might argue that probably the world is lacking some design, right? But I'm inclined on having like a minimalistic design, because that way that allows the creator to focus all the attention on the mechanic itself and all the resources as well. Like if I had like a lot of like geo around the world, that could probably take some of the capacity, some of the frames per second, that could potentially be just focused on the mechanic that is being interacted with. And also, I like that it promotes replayability. So in other worlds that are similar to this, the goal of replaying is basically having a novel or a new puzzle every time that you go there, right? But that is a big compromise to the creator, because basically that means that you have to keep on top of like adding new pictures every now and then. However, the goal of this world is to be able to assemble the puzzle as soon as possible, right? So every time that you play, you want to at least try to finish the puzzle as soon as you can. So I wait basically and compete with the other players as well. So that's the element of replayability that this world has. And then the next slide is a quick demo how this interaction looks like. So that's me basically joining the world. It allows for 4 players to join the game. When you start the game, you have a simple pop-up there that shows you that it's about to start. You can see there how nice and dynamic the world looks like. And then when I point into the board, it tells me, like, for example, where I want to place the piece. And then when I point into one of the pieces, see how smooth that movement is, right? It's like, hopefully you don't have any like network lag, so you can appreciate, like, for example, like how smooth the movement of the pieces is. And then there you go. And then I grab another one and then I place it in the correct location. And when it's what actually I was wrong, and then it changes color to red. And then when I place it where it goes, then it snaps there. And then there you go. Then the piece moves closer to the screen so I can see where I can put it. And then I grab the other one. And then that's basically the whole mechanic. And I don't know if you can see it on the upper right of the screen. On the upper right side on top of the image, there is a timer there that is actually counting down. So the goal here for me is kind of like to finish this puzzle as soon as possible. So yeah, so there is another puzzle there, and basically I just have to continue doing the same mechanic. So yeah, the world that I wanted to showcase for today's presentation.
Amazing, amazing. All right, next up is MKE, the guru.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. So the world that I have chosen to share on this lovely world tour is Duck Duck Doom. So I chose this one because, I mean, like, look at it. It's amazing with this visual identity that it's creating. It's like this fun hybrid of like horror and also like cute, you know? So, I have a few bullet points here that I'm kind of gonna expand on and do my best to not trip over my words and cry. So the first thing is that this world is so easy to navigate. The traffic flow is great on this. Like when you first land in the world, like your direct line of sight is exactly where you need to go start a game. So like intuitively, you know, like I'm gonna go over here and there's a visual cue, right? So you're in the lobby, you can kind of see it in that second image. You're in the lobby and your only view out is the playing arena. So it draws you through the space and to the playing arena where you then can have a visual onboarding of the game. So if you're not familiar, the game is this giant flaming red-eyed duck emerges from the ground and it goes around the playing arena and it bounces off the walls. Now, every time it bounces off the wall, it speeds up a little bit. So at first you're like, I can dodge this, and then it's like, oh, I'm terrified, I'm running. So that's the game, right? So it's so easy to understand, and its mechanics are so like the core of it is so universal. In case you didn't know, giant flaming evil ducks is one of the most reported fears in the world. So this world really leverages that insight. So yeah, it's easy to get started and it's easy to understand. So the world layout, as I mentioned, it's pretty simple, but simple's not a bad thing. What this world does is it helps keep players together, right? Whether you're in the lobby, you can see it's this fun social little vibe with this setup here. So you can hang out, you can chat in between rounds, but it helps prevent that, like, where is everybody? You know, there's not a bunch of rooms, there's not all these different areas. It's just like you're in it, you're with your friends, you're having fun. So the next thing I wanted to touch on, and I kind of already did, is the accessible mechanics. It's just run. It's just run. And that's so easy to get on board with, to understand. You know, so that instinctive and universal fear, like this world could have 0 instructions and you'd already know exactly what to do from the moment, and you'll see it in the video, from the moment that duck rises out of the ground, you know what to do. So I also wanted to touch a bit on how naturally social this world is, and also touch a little bit on its visual brand. So one of the things that really drives the social aspect of this world is its global voice chat. And we all know global voice chat, you know, I hear everybody, there's voices in my head. But this is great for this world because every scream of terror is going to be heard. And every laugh, because why is that grown man afraid of a duck, is going to make you a little bit embarrassed. But it's amazing because no matter where you are in the world, you're connected with people, you're chatting it up, you're sharing those moments, you're in it with everybody else, and spectators too, right? The spectators can sit and watch, they can share their feedback, they can share, oh, hey, watch out on your left, that duck's coming up, it's going to get you, you know? So everyone can be included in the game in a way that's comfortable for them. Additionally, this world has this really fun visual identity, and I think this is what really drew me to it. Is in the lobby, you have this like cutesy, regal, understated vibe, which is this stark contrast to the farmland environment of the playing arena. So it's like at first you're like, oh, this is cute. Okay, cool. What's this about? And then it's like evil duck, So it's just like it's so fun visually, and the aesthetic is so put together, right? So if you think about all of the media that's coming out of this world and going like onto social media, people are going to know exactly what world that is. They see it the first time, they're like, okay, what's this? Oh, Duck Duck Doom. Cool, cool. Then they start to see these elements. They see the duck in the lobby, they see the duck in the playing arena. Like you start to build familiarity with this world, even if you never go, just through seeing it, because that compact nature of it is going to just help from like push these certain elements out naturally. And then the last thing I wanted to touch on is content longevity. This is something that's huge, and I see this kind of get missed a bit because let's be honest, it is hard to keep up. It's so hard to keep up with these worlds after we publish. But what I love about Duck Duck Doom is, recently we had the Easter season, and Duck Duck Doom was dressed to impress. We had bunny ears on that duck, which is hilarious, by the way, seeing this evil duck flaming with bunny ears. And there's bunny ears here and there. There's little Easter baskets. And there also was a seasonal mechanic, which was really cool. These little Easter eggs, when you grab them, they launch you up and out, up into the sky, which helps you avoid being killed. So like you can win, So you have the seasonal mechanic. It's like limited time only, which is really cool, right? Because like I want to go see what's up. Having updates, whether they're seasonal or otherwise, is going to convey a very, very important message to your user base. And that message is somewhere in my notes. I'm still here with you is what I wrote down. What you tell your user base is, hey, I'm still working on this. I'm still right here with you. Keep coming back. See what's new. And they will. People will come back. They'll come back and check out what you've got. You provide for them, they'll come and hang out. So my key takeaways here is that this world is an excellent example that simple does not mean basic. The world is super well designed to help players find the fun quickly and stay in it super easily. And this world also demonstrates commitment to longevity, which is a key factor in facilitating community around your world. So to sum it all up, Duck Duck Doom is a great example of the design intersection of connection, clarity, and creativity. It's easy to understand, hard to forget, and even harder to put down. Here we are in the game. You saw how easy it was to get from spawn to the balcony to start. And then as soon as that duck pops up, you're running. You gotta run. Run for your life. If you get hit like Glitter just did right there, you get evaporated, obliterated, burned to a crisp. And in my case, this resulted in my victory. I see Cray 2.0. This looks super fun. I can't confirm it is. You see me in Glitter dancing? It's that fun. It's so fun. You're gonna have no choice but to dance. So fun. We started again. You just run. I went in the other day actually. And there were some other people in there, and they were so excited to just keep looping and running from this duck, the screaming, the terror, the fear. This is such a well done game. And then here's just like a few screenshots, like the lobby, challenge board. That's cute, that the ducks with the ears.
Awesome. Thank you, Guru.
Yep.
All right. So next up is SeeingBlue.
Yeah, so this one is Happy Veggie by Ebony Epiphany. And there's a few things I think this game done right, and I want to kind of highlight those here over the next couple of minutes. So there was I always say if you have to explain your game, it may not be intuitive enough. This one happens to be fairly intuitive. I don't think it needs instructions, but a small set of instructions don't hurt. Your creators, or your players, they're not going to read a whole lot typically. But in the first screenshot here, it's just very simple instructions, 1, 2, 3, very quick explanation, and then Ebony even puts in a voiceover, just real short, 1 or 2 sentences, just explaining, how the game works. She utilized several other aspects of world creation that I think are important to include in your worlds, like cross promotion, quest, leaderboards, marketplace, a clear progression, some mini games as we wait between matches, photo op opportunities, which I don't highlight in the video, but photo ops I think are great. If you can especially set up a mirror with a backdrop that has like an ad for your world, people are going to take pictures in that mirror. Your world's going to be in the background. They're going to share that to social media. They're going to know where the picture came from. They're going to know where their friends are having fun at and where to go. And then, of course, at the end, there was a clear winner celebration and a leaderboard to go with it. But if you want to go ahead to the next slide and play the video, we'll take a look at each of these points. So right from the start, there's just only one way to go, and it brings you right by the set of instructions. Without audio, you don't hear the voiceover, but as we stand here, we can, yeah, her voice kicked in, caused me to step back. We can see that there's anywhere from 1 to 6 players can play. In order to get started on the world, we're going to be looking for a green checkered board. And then once you're in the match, it basically just says grab as many veggies as you can and put them in the cart. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Not too much to digest in the very beginning. I really like these, sharing those photos. That encourages, it goes back to the photo op thing, that encourages people to take photos in your world so they can see their picture up on the wall. She did, I think, a good job here with not only sharing credits, but also this plays to cross promotional content, working with other creators to share doors. Aesthetically, I think the world is really cohesive. The aesthetics really match across the board. We've got 3 pages of quest in here. We've got a leaderboard for all of the winnings that you get from the matches, a market. So as you can spend your winnings on different things. Here's the progression. It talks a little bit about it. It says the more you pick up, the more veggies you get in your cart. So when you start out, your cart is empty with no veggies in it. But as you play the game and accumulate points, veggies start filling up your cart. So it's a way to kind of show off. Here's a mini game that she has available. If you're waiting for a match, you can collect eggs. Eggs actually count towards being able to make purchases in the marketplace as well. Little doodle board here for the kids if they so just a handful of small things to do in between matches, but the matches themselves aren't too long. If I remember right, I think they may just be 60 seconds. But here's the checkerboard we were looking for with a countdown, and then it throws us right into the match, and we start out in our cart. You can see my cart already has an onion, so I've at least progressed that far. Looks like it was I just saw it on the board. It was actually 1.5 minutes. So we run around. I'm looking for the rarest veggies, right? Look for the ones that aren't that common, because I believe those are going to be worth the most points. And I was right. We don't have any rare ones, so we just grab what's nearest. And the goal here, compete with other players on the map to achieve the highest number of points in your cart. And the market, the kind of pig mask that I'm wearing came from the market, and that increases the speed at which I can run. So that makes me a little more effective at gathering here. I spotted a couple of rare items I want to grab. There's one more. I think my timer's running out. Do I look up at it? Yeah, I got about 30 seconds left. And then so after the match is done, there is a moment. Oh, I actually unlocked an achievement. And if you can see in the cart before the match ends, now I've got corn and onions in my cart, and that's permanent. So that'll always be there, and players get to kind of show off, just how much they've played and how many points they've gained. But once it ends here, there'll be a short celebration where I get celebrated as the winner, some confetti, some cheerings happening, and obviously winners above my head, right? And now we've got leaderboard, and off to the left, you saw just briefly there was the photo op section. But I think that pretty much brings us to an end for this one. So, like I said, really cute aesthetics, really short kind of gameplay, and a lot of things that I think were done right there.
Awesome. Next up is Tellous.
All right. So yeah, I wanted to feature Homebuilder Rush by Necker. I think this, me personally, I like to see a world where you are doing, a thing that feels pretty common, pretty things that you might see pretty often, but then gamifying it, right? I think that has always worked in VR well, and this world for me felt like it translated into mobile very nicely. Like I can imagine this was probably built for VR, but it's working well in mobile. And so the points I wanted to highlight about this world, I have them listed here. So first things first, what appears to work very well in mobile is to just drop these players right into the action, so that the player can get straight to the fun. So we enter the world right close to the house that's being built. Basically what you see is a scaffolding of a house, and you sort of intuit that you need to put the walls up and need to paint it, right? That's also reinforced by the signs that are next to you. One saying, you can grab the paint gun to start painting, or you can grab the nail gun to start nailing up the wall. And so that's another point that is really great is you kind of just can pick a tool and go out and start contributing. The main thing that I'm noticing is when you go into this world and you see other people playing, that feels like the best moment to experience this world, because there's this aspect of when you go to like a build site, I don't know if you watch like home building shows on TV and how the people communicate with each other and stuff like that. It's like these people who are in the world already are basically doing that, right? Because the role play is just so strong there. So you can just grab a tool and you can intuit that the red is bad and green is good. So I'll show you in the video here how that kind of feels. I mean, most of the like Blue had mentioned, right? There's some experiences where they don't need super detailed instructions. There are a few spots here and there where Homebuilder Rush is sort of talking you through how to play it. But what is really nice is once you pick that tool, or if you pick that wall, there's not a lot going on as far as like how many buttons you have to push or anything like that. It's you can intuit it. So that brings me to that other point, which is the role play opportunities. I mean, I mentioned that with when you see other players in the world, it's just that kind of space that when you're in it, you want to do the whole bit of like, oh, I'm working over here, and everybody's being lazy on the other side or whatever. You just goof around, and that's super cool. But there is a competitive element. So you have the option to focus on completing tasks to quickly climb the leaderboards. And so that's made obvious to you when you look up into the sky and see the time there and see the percentage completion of stuff that you need to do. That's where, you know, if you really want to, you know, you don't want to role play anymore, you just want to play the game as it is, and you want to be on top of the leaderboard, you just sort of shift it up, right? So I think I personally really enjoy games that let you both experience some level of like co-op and role play, and then shift into competitive if you want to, because that's one way of keeping everything fresh, right? It's just like give the different modes. So I really love that. And yeah, and so the last point I wanted to touch on was there is also like on SeeingBlue's Happy Veggie, you saw that a photo wall. There's a photo wall on here as well. What I like about it is like the idea of like taking a picture of your work crew for the day. That's a really cool way to sort of memorialize the people that you were hanging out with that day or in that session. So yeah, if we go to the video, I'll show you some fun stuff I was up to in that world. So here's that space that you spawn into. There's those two sections where you can grab a gun, nail gun or a paint gun. And so you see how it's flashing? Like that's like it's calling to you. And so if you have a nail gun, you get into it. Yeah, I just need to nail this thing. It doesn't take too long before it gives you that, you know, instant satisfying moment of like, oh, I did the thing. It's green and it's no longer flashing red. I think that's a really good visual indication of progress. So let's see. I think, yeah, you just see the people working, putting the walls up. So there's these spawners on the ground where you can pick the wood up from, or the drywall if you're inside. And when it's there, you just grab it and put it on the wall. So very simple mechanics. It's me like, you know, surveying, making sure everybody's doing their work. He can't see me emoting for him, but you know, maybe he sees this video. Let's see. So yeah, so in this part, there's just like this medical tent where you can keep the role play going. This thing does nothing, but it does prompt you, you know, for the role playing. So that's kind of a fun way to do it too, is like just kind of leave some props around that let you keep the role play going. There's also a water bottle, helmets, as you can see on this person here. This person's dual wielding nail guns, so they're very productive. Yeah, it's and it also has this like ASMR aspect to it when you're in it and you're sort of like going one by one, hitting the nailing up the walls. Oh, here's my pro strats. This is a tip. So you can yeet the boards. You know me, you know I love a good yeet. So you can throw the boards up on the wall. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it's that's the game. So it's, you know, that's kind of an emergent gameplay aspect of it. It's like you can kind of play it how you want. The boards. Yeah, it's pro strat. Here's another pro strat. This is a movement tech for all you competitive gamers out there that want to, you know, you want to maximize your movement styles. I call that the backwards ladder climb, and that's for getting these like hard to reach corners. You gotta just line it up just right, kind of like a speedrunner playing Super Mario 64. Let's just play. Boom. Got it. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. I think for the rest of it, I'm just kind of doing more throwing and jumping and nailing. But yeah, that's Homebuilder Rush. Go try it after this. It's really fun.
Nice. Excellent. Thank you. So next up is Cratastic Colorrunner by Cray 2.0. And the genre is, it's totally a party game. Like if you guys ever played like what is that game on Nintendo Switch, was like Mario Party, anything like that, it's pretty much this, you know. It's very fun. easy to learn, straightforward mechanics, make for a quick player onboarding. I mean, really, like you go in the world, it literally tells you right there, choose your color. And what's great about this is like the game itself is based off of color, and that like I'm a geek for color, so anything that has to do with like branding and color cues is like definitely good. Visual identity. Colorful visuals give players a chance to personalize their experience. So, I mean, really, like you could pick your favorite color. I think for the most part, I go for blues and purples because, you know, those are my jams right there. There's a risk reward. So power-ups introduce meaningful risk reward decisions. So um, during gameplay, you're running around trying to fill the entire board with your color, making sure that everyone else doesn't get a chance to do so. And you get these little question marks around. You might get yeeted off the board, or you might get a colorful explosion, which is like seriously satisfying, by the way. And this gameplay is naturally social. So global voice chat and high energy pacing, bringing players together. I mean, really all the smack talk you want to do in this game, right? Like, get out of my way, you know? I think this game is awesome. And it's very quote unquote cratastic. So I'd like to talk about the branding in this world in particular, because if you actually look at Craze worlds all throughout, they all have a specific color palette, which is customizable to herself. You know, this is her way of spreading her Cratastic vibes all throughout the metaverse. And as you can see here, she does give homage to other creators, which is really fantastic. I love this part of the game. If anybody knows me, I do like to bounce around. And so especially in space. So I think this was a nice touch to do while maybe there's gameplay. She has a little bit of a collection of stars. Like this is really great. All right. Yeah, I mean the overall atmosphere is definitely definitely welcoming. And like I can't stress enough about the color palette because this is quite the color palette I do like myself. So yeah, excellent choice in that. So let's get to the gameplay. And she's slow. All right, get in there. Scooch scooch. All right, cool. All right, so and the object of the game is, like I said before, we are going to basically try to dominate that board with our own color. There we are. And what's cool about this is like the unpredictability of like those question marks. It's like, I want to take them all, and look, color bomb. I think this is fantastic. This is a great way to make gameplay with that is color specific. And so that's something to actually think about is like your gameplay doesn't have to be like anything elaborate. Like maybe think of something like a Simon. That's a really good example of gameplay with color. You have to kind of like sound off whatever colors that it shoots out at you in perfect order. But this one is quite different because you're actually trying to dominate with your specific color palette. And I think in this round, Guru won, which I was very salty. I thought I was winning, but no, sir. There we are. And we're going to do a victory dance. So yeah, I mean, really, a lot of these worlds do require a second player, but you know, why not have like that social interaction, you know? Little victory dance. Yeah, so I mean really it's up to you, like whether you want a solo play or you want multiplay. I mean, I say experiment with everything, you know. Think outside the box. Like don't be afraid to try and experiment and maybe fail. I mean, because that's how you learn, right? So all right, so I have a big question for you guys. What are your favorite mobile games so far that has been released? Sound off in the chat, send emojis, let's hear it. I'd like to see what you guys think. Shameless plug. Okay. The double jump. Oh, is it Chef's Kiss? I have to go play that. Definitely all of your suggestions will definitely be visited. Okay, sorry. I'm getting dings in my ear and I'm getting distracted. You know, I'm very proud of that game, Gun Gun Goose. That game is superbly done. Absolutely superbly done. Great job. That dagger game is really fun. It's a fun little solo game. Well, you guys have been amazing. And so I would like to open it up for a little Q&A. If you guys have any questions for us, the mentors, please sound off in the chat or feel free to unmute yourself. You're welcome to do so.
I'm curious regarding generally like single player versus multiplayer worlds and how not just how well they do, but also how people feel about them in this environment.
We've not had a lot of experience with single player worlds in Horizon, I don't think, just simply because we literally were only just given the ability to reduce the player count below 4 like this week. So really up until this week, we've been forced to create multiplayer games, right?
Yeah, that sounds about right. But I'm kind of curious because in the contest does specify solo or multi. So I tried a solo game and I'm like, it's kind of interesting because it allows you to play with the camera and the UI and this quest stuff a lot. But it does come at a disadvantage in terms of like engagement and social. And so I'm kind of like, just something that's been on my mind a lot last few weeks.
Yeah, I will say,
Oh yeah, I was gonna say on that solo comment, like I'm trying to design because I notice a lot of the Horizon worlds are really, you go in and there's no one in there. And it's like, if you're gonna design a game, make it fun for the individuals as well. Because my experience, and I don't know, because I haven't been designing that long, but yeah, I would try to build an experience for everyone at different points. And it's a different game as a solo, but it's just a different experience. At least I'm aiming to do that.
That's a super good point. I like, like Blue said, it's very recent, the single player of I guess code to make it, or not code, but toggle to make it a single player game. However, we can start to see how people are, reacting to the games. If we look at this recently released game, Jabu Jabu, if you've seen it, it's a merge game that you could play on mobile. That is single player, and it looks great, it feels great. So I would say like keep an eye on something like that, where I think something that's great about that game is that they went with a sort of a simple mechanic. So that's another great way for like you to personally test if you could cook up a world real quick that is sort of along the lines of like, old school Flash game, or, just a basic, simple mechanic that you can prove out and start to see what people's reception is to that. That'd be really cool to see.
Something also to mention there is that remember that the social interaction not only happens synchronously, like for example, you don't have to have another player in the same time with you to have the social experience. That's why we have leaderboards, for example, where you can compete for being the top of the leaderboard. That's something that we see a lot of players around, like oh, I want to be in the top of the leaderboard. I want to be the one that gets the most hits. I want to be the person that get the most, the most accuracy on something, right? So you can definitely leverage the power, the power of a leaderboard to kind of to promote that social engagement and having other players in the world. But to the original question about yeah, you have an experience how you can design for a single player experience as well. Something to keep in mind is that we are like have a focus now for mobile games, and as Matt mentioned, now that unlocks the possibility of creating better and more engaging like single players worlds. But even if you create a multiplayer game, my personal recommendation is to try to make a mode that you can actually play it on your own. Not only because, you know, when you first launch a world, it's always that period where you have like, you're trying to get like more players in your experience. So you want to make sure that that first interaction is not from a player that is trying to find someone else to play your game, right? So at least try to have a mode where even if it's just like a lobby where players can be on their own, you know, waiting for another player to join the session, have something that they can do on their own. Otherwise, you're going to have players that are going to leave the world without being able to play it. That's something that happens to me a lot when I go world hopping on my own sometimes, that I go to a world and then I cannot experience anything because I don't have no one is available at the time. So I just have to leave at that point, right? So yeah, try to leverage the current social tools that we have, and also, you know, yeah, make use of the current tools that we have now for mobile creation.
Awesome. Thank you, Melissa. And yeah, I think quests and leaderboards will be my saving grace. Because I agree with you.
Yep.
I've had the same experience. You go to a place, you look at matchmaking, waiting for the players, and you can't sit for an hour and you're not going to get anywhere. So definitely a thing to avoid. Awesome. Thank you.
Just a quick thing to add, just for the advanced scripters out there, start experimenting with putting those NPC avatars in your worlds too. Shout out to Chicken Tag that just came out. I've been playing that hardcore this morning. So they have NPCs in there that play with you. And I think that was always a great thing about Horizon Worlds, is like seeing other avatars in the space really just made it feel so fun to be in Horizon Worlds. So you know, start playing with those nav mesh and NPCs, and see if you can incorporate that and make some semi-social games.
Awesome. Is that it? You guys have any more questions? We are here. We are here for you. So feel free to ask more questions. Man, we're gonna have to work on some music, because like I need to vibe, you know, I need that.
I'll learn how to beatbox for the next one.
I have a lot
Right.
I have so many questions, I'll make you sick. My chat GPT gets tired of me. So I try to like limit the amount of questions I ask. Is Jabu Jabu like are these games that are going to be in the competition that other people made, or is this something that Meta produced?
I don't know for sure, but it's out, so play it and try it, and that'd be cool to learn from.
Is this the caliber of our competition, most likely?
Jabu Jabu will not be in the competition.
Okay, thank you, Marlo. But
Okay.
it is something.
Yeah, it is. It was produced by a studio. That's correct.
Okay. Thank you, Marlo. But it like you know, it is something definitely to strive for, though, right? Like, we want to keep improving our worlds until they sort of reach that caliber. You know, it's going to take some time, but the tools are getting better and better, and let's just keep figuring it out together.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, you guys, you creators have been super wonderful, super like, thank you for being here. And yeah, we're hoping to have more of these. What do you guys think? Give me emojis, give me thumbs up. I do love seeing emojis.
I have a question.
Oh, there you go. Ask away.
It may or may not be the appropriate place to ask this, but you guys were talking about leaderboards, and I have developed my own room, but I don't know how to. I took the leaderboard out of my gizmos, but I don't know how to make it. I don't know how to make it like to pick up any data.
Yeah, so to that, definitely we often lead, you know, like workshops where we show exactly how to script. This definitely we wouldn't be able to show this right now, but definitely you can ask the same question in the forums. Do you have access to the forums in the MHCP?
I'm new to the creator program, so I'm not really sure yet where I kind of fit. I'm just trying to, like, I guess, show up to everything so that I can find out where I kind of fit.
Yeah, that's great. So right now here in the chat, oh, there you go. Thank you, Mike the Guru. Thank you, SeeingBlue. So if you look at the chat, you're gonna see a link to the forums. So you can just go there and you can ask any questions about scripting, creation. And also when you go to the main page there, you can see the upcoming events that we have available this month. So you can sign up, and register to any of those. But definitely if you drop the question there, you're gonna get an answer of how to script the leaderboard. Or if you join one of the future sessions, you might get also a demonstration, depending on what the topic is. Hopefully that helps.
We should have some sessions regarding TypeScript AI workshops coming up soon, right? Ain't that right, Matt?
TypeScript, we have holstering coming up later in the month, and a talk on using AI to script.
Yeah, I look forward to that one myself. The AI
Same.
version. That's something that I think is gonna unlock the use of TypeScript for many creators. So that's gonna be a great one.
Sign me up. I'm still learning, but I am enjoying it. So, all right. So, are we at time? Tell me, guys.
We
Any
have
more
7 more minutes if no one wants to. I always like to.
Yeah.
I like to answer questions too. So I don't know. But
here's your opportunity. Pigeon is waiting for you. So please ask away.
If not, we can. I mean, yeah, it's up to the crowd. Like, if someone else has any more questions, we can also.
Next 6 minutes. So.
I do want to remind everybody, if there's newer people here, to Pigeon mentioned going to the forums for like learning. I also want to recommend using the forums to share your work and have people come in and play test as soon as possible, so that you're always getting that feedback from the community of what they want to see, what is working mechanics wise in your game. And like they give you whole new ideas sometimes. So just keep sharing on the forums, and let's keep looking for what people are sharing too.
Ooh, I see a question here that I really want to talk about real quickly. So Nancy is asking, what's the one thing you haven't seen yet in Horizon that you really wish someone would build? So, I mean, like now with mobile, there is a wide range of mechanics that it was impossible to make, which is having VR creation. Like if you just go to any app store or something, literally any of those mechanics do not exist in Horizon yet, right? Because right now we've been focused only on creating things, for 3D interaction. But now that you have like the ability of creating things for cross screens, for screens only, that unlocks a wide range of possibilities. Like one thing that I keep telling creators to do is that now that you don't have to see the full things, the spectrum, you can actually do a lot of things performance-wise. Instead of showing the entire mesh, for example, you can just show the front of it, because no one is going to go behind it, right? You can control where the player is going to see, what the player is going to do, what the player can, interact with. So there is a wide range of possibilities now with mobile creation. So I highly recommend you to just go go world hopping, like in different apps out there. You can go to the App Store, the iPhone store, or even even Steam. Like the other day, I just went to the most playable games in Steam and looking for ideas of mechanics that I can implement in the world. So definitely there is a wide range of things that we have never seen in Horizon that I look forward to seeing in the future.
Awesome. I do love browsing the Steam games library, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So many cool things to play.
Single player games, I think, like the door has really just kind of opened up for those. So those really focused experiences, instead of with a single player game, I think you get to focus more on the actual storytelling than you do the multiplayer experience, make sure everyone's having fun, right? I'm excited to see what kind of single player experiences start coming out soon. MMORPGs, absolutely. Like I've already attempted it a couple of times. The scope for those things are just so big. They take a lot of time and effort.
Yeah, you gotta start small. I love Well Played Studios Horizon scaling. I think that's like a great nudge in that direction, right? Of just like very RuneScape, very World of Warcraft professions feeling. So they're on track. So I'd love to see that one keep growing.
Yeah, that one is actually pretty fun to play and explore, you know. Okay. I have another question from Drools is I'm curious from the games you all played, what's one thing you thought would improve those games? Like
for me, it comes down to like a feature that we just don't have access to yet, right?
pretty much. Animations. I didn't say that.
Like for the MMOs, for example, I think the MMOs would have to be multi-world. So we really need to make sure that we're keeping reduced load times between worlds to make that work. But they're a trap. But we also need like really good portals. A really good portaling system between worlds, I think, in order to create a multi-world MMO. You already made a portal system. Well, I mean, if players can just touch something and go to the next instance, as opposed to like have to walk up and click on a door. I don't know. I think there would be a lot. It would help a lot. Animations are obviously top of the list.
Yeah, I think probably the easiest way to sample this, and we should try at some point, is having a hub world where people are like up to a certain instance count, and then you can go into a special instance for like dungeons for like your raid group, and then come back to the original instance. That way you don't break all the worlds and performance all the time, but be something fun to try at some point collectively. See if we can make this happen with the Horizon World APIs, right?
Another good example of like something that, well, to answer the question, the world persistent variables, right? So being able to make something like being able to affect a change in an instance and that change carry over time, you know, that's a real popular feature of MMOs.
There's a lot of good comments and questions in the chat, guys. So go ahead. I think I interrupted someone.
So you guys played those games and you didn't think, oh, this one thing would improve these games. Like, I love the idea of, I would love to bounce around into different worlds and have the same, you know, kind of theme carry over. But when you guys were playing those games that you showcased, if you were being critical, and you guys are always so nice, you guys are way too nice, actually. Like, if you're being critical and you're like, hey, I think Andrew was here who developed one of the that duck world. It would be, yeah, like, what would you tell Andrew to crush his spirits?
Yeah, well, at least
not to crush his spirits, but to, you know, be like, what would be some critical feedback that you might give him?
Yeah. Definitely not in the business of spirit crushing. But you know, my honest opinion is like I think that the simplicity like really does work. For me, the things that I think would just help bump it to the next level, like for example, is having more people in there. And I know that's not something that the creator can just make happen, right? So like having a big crowd, I think, is just going to take that game over the top to where it needs to be. What I would say, like, I would love to see in the future, and I did put it in the comments, is just like having like themed wearables or something that unlocks to help fuel that progression. Because there's like the challenge board, right? And it's like, okay, I'm going to go after this challenge. I'm going to do this. That's just a quest. Maybe I missed it, but I wasn't seeing anything in there that I could earn as a personal reward. Something to help kind of like personalize my experience, and that would help me like I'd look forward to hitting that milestone, getting that reward, and have that sort of like little reward loop. I think would be an excellent thing to implement in that world. Other than that, I love it. 10 out of 10.
I think
Yeah.
oh, sorry, go
No,
ahead,
go ahead.
Pigeon.
Go ahead, please.
I was just gonna say, I think what you're saying, Jules, is a really good thing as a game dev. Like, you know, we definitely want feedback from all angles. I would highly recommend, you know, if your world was featured here, or, you know, like I mentioned earlier, it's just post that as part of sharing your work on the forums, right? Hey, here's my world. I would love feedback in these directions, so that, you know, like, we kind of let everybody get a chance to you know, put their version of feedback that they can take you know, along with their posts. Hopefully that helps with you know, keeping morale high, you know, because you're filtering what you want to see.
Yeah, that's definitely a great recommendation. Definitely, you're gonna get like more voices than just us. Like, you can have like as I think that Goose mentioned here, that playtesting has been fundamental for her. She has received a lot of feedback from a recent world that she shared. So getting feedback from more voices, you know, more players is always beneficial. But answering directly your question, Drew, about like what will I improve for the about the world that I visited, my recommendation for Puzzle Rush would be to increase the feedback that the player gets whenever a piece is placed on the board. I always recommend to use all avenues for feedback for players. Like, by all means, you know, like right now, I think that he's currently changing the color when, for example, a piece is placed in the wrong place. You can go more dramatic than that. You can do things like, for example, like make the piece like bubble a little bit, or maybe when the piece, you know, lands in the right place, it goes like, you know, bounces a little bit and then it snaps in the correct location. But basically increasing the feedback, because you never know what type of limitations the visitors are going to have. Like, they might not be able to hear something, they might not be able to see something very clearly. So you want to increase the amount of feedback. That's the general recommendation in games, I think. But yeah, that's my only comment there.